Didn't get a chance to start any music or anything. At least you don't get elevator music, Morgan. Hey, Morgan, how you doing? Give me a minute and still, as always, still setting up. Okay, let's see. Well, it's just about 2 o'clock anyway. Yes, you hear things. I was still setting up. I don't have music to this. I haven't had time. Music is an abomination. Well, it's better than silence. You shouldn't be hearing anything. Actually, is there anything else going on? No, I don't hear anything else going on. It should just be my voice, which is... I don't know. That might not be... It might not be any better. What, you hear something in the background, or you... Oh, silence is golden. Silence is better than me coughing. Okay, 2 o'clock. So we are starting now. Yay. So I can turn this thing off. Make sure this works. Yep. Ah, hey, we are live. Awesome. You heard scraping before talking. That was me trying to position my microphone up above my nipple. And then dropping the magnet as I was trying to adjust the microphone. And then trying to figure out where the hell I dropped the magnet, because everything's black, and then I got a black cover on my floor, and that was fun for a good minute. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and start. Do we have everything in frame? God, why is this so far away? This shouldn't be so far away. There we go. Okay, we're about centered. I think we're good. Okay, just get in a few minutes, because I know some people don't show up right at 2 o'clock Central Standard Time. Hey, did you did you enter the lotto? It's at, I don't know. I'm assuming you have lottery. 1.8 billion, I heard. I think. I'm not going to lie. I might have tossed, and this is the sad part, I might have thrown away $50. I had to try. The funny thing, it's 1.8 billion. 1.8 billion, nearly $2 billion bucks. So even after taxes, you're still a billionaire. Provided you're not sharing it with anybody. I had so many people wanted to go into a bucket or something. Maybe I should have. I haven't. I think Ostank wanted to go into, wanted to do a thing, and I completely didn't think about it. And then I noticed it was like 1.8 billion. I was like, oh, maybe I should have, but I didn't get a hold of them. I just went ahead and bought tickets. And I think I spent $50. I know somebody that's spending like $5K. Granted, he's doing pretty well, so I guess if you have $5K to toss at it, go you. I mean, I wish I had $5K to just toss at tickets. But anyway, here's hoping, because heck, if I win, it's gonna be a really good Christmas. You found music for me? I'm not sure I want to know. It's a copyright. Okay, let's get started, because this is supposed to be a knife live. So I think I've futzed around for a good 3 minutes already, 4 minutes if you count the beginning. And I don't, this is, oh, I see your link. I'll take a look at it later. Yeah, I'll take a look at it later. Maybe next week. I'll give it a listen. I'll let you know. But what was I saying? Yeah, maybe if I'm lucky, it won't be so slim. But I only have 3 boxes to open today, or 3 packages to open, and but I did get other package. I did get a few other packages earlier in the week. The only thing is I did open them because I wanted to do videos on them. I still have a box from Titan. I still have a box from Appalachia. We got a box from Titan. Still got a box from Appalachia Freeze Dried, and I got a package from a Doug Popper. All these people are sellers on Whatnot, and you can see these aren't exactly the biggest packages in the world. I did get a package from Chasing Blades earlier in the week. I think I got a couple packages from Chasing Blades earlier in the week, but those I admittedly are the ones that I actually opened already. We will still go over those, but I want to get through the packages first. So we're going to go ahead. We're just going to start with a Titan one. I know I normally go with soft packages first, but I want to start with a Titan one. Okay, I gotta put these away or somewhere because they're all over the place and they're gonna fall all over the place. So let's start with this one. This again is from Titan International Knives. They do a lot of Damascus, and I've actually been speaking to Chasing Blades, and I didn't know this until recently, but they worked with, or they're distributors for another company called Texan Knives, who does their Damascus in-house. So these are not this one, but Chasing Blades does business with Texan Knives. They do their Damascus in-house. They have their own forge, and I've seen some of their stuff. Their stuff is pricey, but I might be able to get a hold of some of their knives. In fact, I've got at least one that's I've got at least one on hold for me that I don't know when I'll be able to pick up, but I'm obviously going to try. Oddly enough, I didn't. Oh, well, we got a Titan knife sticker. You found 3. Well, I'll take a look at them later because I'm obviously I'm not gonna play them now. But yeah, I'll take a look at them. Maybe we'll make them for next week. So we got a Titan knife sticker. This is actually pretty interesting because did I ask for this one? Or okay, so we got a pancake sheath, which is kind of neat because I don't normally see pancake sheaths from Titan. But what was in here was this. Now, for those that knew how long I've been collecting knives, I'm still kind of new to the traditional knife category. Most of the knives that I've purchased in the past and that I've collected in the past were all modern style knives, flippers and things. But I've been really smitten with traditional knives in the last several months, especially trappers. This one is a new one from Titan, and it's not a Damascus, strangely enough, but they started making trappers because I've been really interested in, and I've had a couple before that I showcased, but this is the first one they've had with designs on them. And as you notice, this is not a Damascus. I think they do these. I can't remember what steel they use for these. I'd like to say it's O2. But pretty well done. Looks like it still has a little oil on it. For 2 days, you've been screwed up. Your sleep's been screwed up. Oh, gee, it was 9:30 before you went to bed. Hey, Waylon, how you doing? So this is pretty sweet. Now, it's a pattern that's encased in, I'm guessing, some type of acrylic. So it's not on the surface, but it's pretty well smoothed out. The edges are done pretty nice. Again, it's not a Damascus like your typical Titan. Real nice scroll work on the back. When I saw these on the table, I had to get one. So bad. Again, O2 steel, I believe. I don't believe it's like D2. Wow, that thing, it's like a mirror finish on these. Really strong. Got a midpoint, which is nice. Let me wipe my fingerprints off this thing. This is pretty. I like the pattern on this. Like I said, I've never seen them before until recently, but usually I see lockbacks from them. And I've gotten their trappers before, but the typical trappers I got from them before were along these lines. Here, I'll show you. Like this was a dark bone, and I'm pretty sure I've shown these before. And then I have one that's a lighter bone, and both with Damascus blades. Ooh, they've got a good snap. Both with Damascus blades. I think I've shown these before. But really nice. I like the bone. But then I saw these in, like I said, I believe 02, and with a really cool pattern on them. They have another one similar to this that I think is a little on the lighter side, and I might have that coming as well. Hey, Ron, how you doing? Glad you guys could make it. Just opened the first box, and that's what I had, was that Titan Trapper. I don't have that many to open, sadly. I still have quite a few knives to show, but I don't have that many to open. But pretty darn cool. I really like the shine on those blades. Those are polished really well. And probably really sharp. Let me see. Ooh, yeah, that's... Hold on a second. We're going to test something out. Actually, one thing I want to test before I do anything. Oh, snap them closed. They got a good snap to them. I don't see them hitting the backspring. That's one worry with a lot of trappers. Now, I'm not going to call these inexpensive. They weren't inexpensive. They weren't expensive, though. I believe I got this. It was from Titan Knives and whatnot. I think I got this for like $25, $30. So, I mean, really good price for a full-size trapper. And what I was just checking when I snapped it shut, I wanted to see it because sometimes on inexpensive knives, when you slap the blade down, the blade will hit the back spring and you'll roll an edge. But I'm not seeing that happen on these, which is really, really nice. That means you can snap it down and not have to worry about it, having to sharpen it or anything. But pretty cool knife. I think I have the other one coming as well. Nice holster for it, too. I like that. Actually, is this supposed to go blade forward, or... I don't know how he had it in there. I like to do it this way. I like to have blade down, but that's me. Pretty nice sheath for it. Okay, awesome stuff from Titan. We're going to go on. We're going to open the next one. It's going to be from Appalachian freeze-dried knives. Yeah, we'll open this one next. So how's everybody been doing? You guys been having a good one? I can't remember what I got from them. Like I can never remember what I've bought. I end up, especially when I get a package and I get it on a Monday. I mean, yeah, I can go check. I can always go check. I can do an online receipt thing. But I always forget what I've gotten. And then, I've got the box sitting here for like an entire week. I also hope you guys have been enjoying the Discord. I noticed some people posting in there. That's awesome. Thank you for nice little note. Thank you for spending your time and hard-earned money with us. I can't thank you enough for the continued support. Oh, Appalachia's awesome. He's a really nice guy. He also has really good candy. You just talked to me a few hours. No, it was longer than that. Last night. Wasn't it last night? Okay, so we got another one from Appalachia. This one, this one I've been waiting for, because I didn't have this one. This one is a Rough Rider. And this should be a Trapper, I believe. Yeah, Whalen and Dream have been showing some really pretty knives. Oh, Cinnamon Bone Stag Trapper. I believe it's yep. Hold on. This is done in Rough Riders Damascus. Now, I don't know what their Damascus is made of. I understand it is a true Damascus. It's not just a pattern. And they're not always the easiest to see. Let me wipe this down. We got some oil and stuff on here. But they are Damascus steel. Looks like one's a little worn down there. I don't know what their Damascus is made of. I'm assuming it's going to be a high carbon and a mix of high carbon and stainless, which is generally what they're. I'm like a typical Damascus is my guess. Let me see if I can't polish that up a little better to bring that out. But I really like the cinnamon bone stag scales on these. And then I've got something to talk about in regards to Rough Rider later. But I don't see Damascus from them all too often, although I know I've opened a few Damascus knives from them. I try to snap them up when I can. They tend to be on the pricier side of things. And I don't recall ever seeing a cinnamon bone Damascus. That's pretty sweet. I do love the cinnamon bone. I do believe it is an actual bone, too. Not a synthetic. Because I know they've had similar that were synthetic scales. But I'm pretty sure this is a true bone. I'm kind of judging by the imperfections and how the dyes take into the bone. So, pretty sweet knife. You're ready for fall. It's been kind of on and off here in terms of rain. Been having a lot of freaking fire alarms. Good grief. That needs to stop. This needs to be cleaned. But pretty cool knife from Appalachian Freeze Dried from Rough Rider. We're going to put that away. What I wanted to talk about in regards to Rough Rider, I was going to save this for later, but since I have it now, before I forget, I am going to be doing a Whatnot auction tomorrow at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. And my focus originally was going to be trying to sell the remainder of my guitar pedals. But I've been really thinking hard on this. I might be selling a majority of my Rough Rider knives. I know I've nitpicked through my collection before. And I've sold everything I kind of wanted to sell. But there's been so much neat new stuff coming out that I honestly can't afford. That I'm seriously considering selling off another bunch of my Rough Riders and then really sticking to specific patterns that I like trappers and docks and lady legs and maybe one other pattern. But I think the majority of everything else that's not one of those patterns is going to end up going. Like muskrats. I don't know if I have any Congresses. Stockmans are probably going to go and the like. And any like more of your, I'm going to call them odd ones. If I have more than like a couple hawk bills, then I'll probably sell the majority of the hawk bills and keep just maybe a couple. Same thing with some of the other patterns. I might just keep a couple, but sell the remainder. So, if you're interested in any Rough Rider, or if you're interested in guitar pedals, tomorrow might be a good auction to hit. Because generally what I end up doing is I just try to break even. Make back what I got. So a lot of the Rough Rider that I have will probably go for a very decent amount. All right, let me put that one down. Where did I put that other knife down? I had it just a moment ago. There it is. I'm trying to find a good place to put these when I'm done staring at them. You live in San Diego and it's high 70s. I like the 70s. I would like to stay like mid 70s all year round. I mean, is there a state that has the temps like pretty much at 73 375 degrees all year round. Because I'd like to move there. Okay, now the last package, I know, like I said, I didn't have much to open. The last package I have, this is from Doug Popper. This is the first package I've got from them. Again, he's a seller at Whatnot. Never ordered from him before until now. If this is what I remember, I think these might end up being Christmas presents. Did I kick my light? That's the other thing that I'm trying to decide is I might start giving or picking Christmas presents out of my collection. Okay, this is I got an invoice. What else do I have in here? Okay, there we go. Oh, that's interesting. I like these little accordion things. Because they give you all the paper cuts. What are you carrying? You're carrying a Null Raiden R2 MagnaCut titanium scales and EMP Nimble Frag titanium scales Zircuti clip and Big Idea pry bar. Dang. I'll show you what I'm carrying once I'm done unpackaging this last one because I think you might be interested. Not that I'm selling it. I'm just thinking you might be interested. Broke Trucker Knives. Okay, so Doug Popper, I guess this show is called The Broke Trucker. We got a neat little sticker from him. And what I got... Morgan, don't look. This could be future Christmas presents. I don't know. Or I might sell them tomorrow. I don't know. We've got... These are from Kentucky Cutlery Company. I'm probably not going to open these. Because I admitted, oh wow, they slide right open. Okay, maybe we can take a look at them because I can put them back in. Kentucky Cutlery Knives. Now, if you've ever heard of Kentucky Cutlery, I've seen a lot of traditional knives from them. I have a couple traditional knives from them, but it's not a manufacturer I normally see a lot of. We have what looks like, I was going to say a Warncliffe, but there's a curve to it. So it's kind of a hawk bill. And it looks like we've got a skull on the handle and a folding pocket knife. Doesn't really tell me a whole lot on this one. And then we've got another one with another skull. People love the skulls. And also from Kentucky Cutlery. Now, I don't know if I want to open these up because I think I was considering giving these away as a present for Christmas, like holding on to these and Christmas presents. Morgan, don't look. And I'm going to go ahead and unpackage one just so I can take a good look to see how they are. I don't want to break the packaging though. If I can open this easily enough, okay, there we go. We'll take a look at this one. I'll leave the other one in there for now. Okay, that wasn't so bad. I can easily put that back. So we've got, looks like a slip. Okay, so these are slip joints. These are not locking knives. We've got a lanyard hole. This one is a hawk bill of sorts. Like, I don't want to even call it a half hawk because there is a curve to it. It's not a perfectly straight blade, which is why I'm not calling it a Warncliffe. But slip joint, let's see how this closes. Okay, so we've got a little bit of a mid stop and then close. You've got, instead of a thumb nick, you've got a hole to open and then it locks open. Well, not locks, but you got a pretty serious detent on open. And, ooh, relatively sharp blade. Really thin profile. I'm guessing aluminum or steel handles. You know what? I'm going to say steel. Stainless steel handles. Blackened blades. Graphic on one side. Black on the other. I'm assuming the other one's about the same. Except we have a drop point on the other one. Rose, you made it! How you doing? Yeah, very thin. Morgan, you're not supposed to be looking. But not bad. This is actually not bad at all. It's got some pretty serious snap. It's not hitting. I'm not seeing any rolling, so it's not, doesn't appear to be hitting anything when I close it. So that's also a good sign. Kentucky Cutlery does make some pretty decent traditionals. They're not terribly. Whoa! They're not terribly expensive traditionals, but they're not bad either. I mean, Rough Riders themselves don't cost much at all either. The Rough Riders run anywhere from like less than $10, depending on the series, to I've seen some Rough Riders go as high as like $60-$70, but those are usually their like reserve, much more, rarer stuff. A high-end Rough Rider is like, I don't know, I think the most expensive I've seen was like maybe $50-$60. And that's their high end. And Rough Rider makes some excellent knives, especially for the cost. Which is one reason why I'd always recommend Rough Rider to anybody that's just looking for something inexpensive. I don't want to say cheap, but inexpensive. This will go right back in. There we go. And I got 2 Christmas presents. Awesome. Okay, so that was from the Broke Trucker. Maybe I'll throw the sticker in for the Christmas presents. You done not looking there, Morgan? Oh, that's nice. You get to walk the beach. Okay, so now we're gonna move to knives that I got earlier this week, and that I had already opened the box of. Again, I did that earlier. I didn't wait for this stream because I wanted to get videos done on some of those knives that I knew were coming in. But we are going to show them anyway. Not every video's out. I still am working on editing some. But if you've been watching the channel, some of these knives you've probably seen. This is a portion of my ladies' leg collection and others, as you can see. I know I've shown the pink. I know I've shown the turquoise. This is a new lady leg that I got just this week. It's the latest Rough Rider I've gotten. And it's interesting because it's a purple sparkle and it's got 2 knives, 2 blades. I don't see it all too often. Yeah, you're not looking at the angry green knife that says that says mine. Well, I might have to wait till Christmas. So this one was just interesting because normally on lady legs, like from Rough Rider, I very rarely see them with 2 blades. And we got a California clip point and a pen blade. Usually they just have a California clip point blade, so I thought this was kind of neat. Also, the sparkle isn't something that I see all too often. Good snap on this one. But that's the first one, or one of the first ones that I did unbox. I didn't do a video particularly on this one, but the reason why I opened it up early is because the other knives that it came with, I did want to do a video on. And we will look at one of those right next. Let me just roll this back up. Thanks, Rod. Appreciate it. So that's another one that showed up early, and I know I'm kind of glossing over this. I don't know how long this live is going to be today. Like I said, I didn't have that many packages to open. Things are kind of slowing down, sorta. Mainly because this stuff is expensive. And I don't get paid to do this. I'm not sponsored or anything. So, I mean, everything I get here is like my own cash. And that seems to be running out. So, things are slowing down. I do have some big stuff coming in. I was hoping they would be in for this show. But I do have some big stuff coming in next week. Will I be able to hold off opening it until then? I don't No, because I'm going to want to do videos, but you guys, I'll see them next week. The other knife that came in with that lady leg, this is one. It's a case knife, a traditional knife. And this is another reason why I'm thinking of selling a good portion of my Rough Riders out, because I've been wanting to get more and more case. And A, I'm going to need the money for the case. B, I need room for the new case. So I've already got boxes and boxes of Rough Riders that are just sitting there. I need a display case still. I still haven't found one of those that I like, and that isn't too expensive. Display cases are crazy pricey. Okay, this is a case, and this one is from 2025. Was a SHOT Show knife. So if you're familiar with SHOT Show, which is a gun and knife show, they did this one for SHOT Show. Case did it, and this is a trapper. Again, probably one of my favorite. Probably my favorite pattern. I like trappers. I like the two blades. Got a California clip point. Got a spade blade, and on the front you have making a case for America. No actual hard badge on this one. And then on the back, you have handcrafted USA. And I don't know what that is. I'd like to say it's a... No, it's not the Capitol. I don't know what that is. What building that is. America. Heck yeah. It's a... I got so much... That's marker. How do I keep getting marker on me? Hold on a second. I don't remember touching a marker, much less getting marker on my fingers. I don't know where this marker keeps coming from. I'm starting to worry. Okay. Anyway. So, again, this is from 2025 SHOT Show. I don't know how limited these are. I do believe they are limited. I just don't know the number. They don't... This is one they didn't really serialize. This one, I don't know the age on this one. It's 2025, so it can't be very old. But there's the number, USA 4254 stainless steel. It's in their True Sharp stainless. Again, California clip point, spade blade, and really good snap on these. I'm going to try this. It worries me, but frickin' chasing blades does what I call... You have several ways of opening a knife. You get rear flipper, front flipper, you get thumb holes, you get the reverse flick. He does something I call the pucker snap, because every time he does this with a knife, it makes my behind pucker. But he'll open a knife like this. Ooh. Just a little. I don't know how he does it. He's got like working man hands. But he'll be showing a knife, and he'll just casually be like, here's one blade, here's another, and he'll just casually open them up like that. And I call it the pucker snap because it makes my behind pucker every time. I'm waiting for him to cut himself. It freaks me out. I had to try it. But really cool graphic. I'm really, again, one of the reasons why I'm thinking of shrinking my collection down a little bit is I want to concentrate on a lot of these harder to get knives, and not necessarily rare knives, but maybe limited knives and things like that. And I've been getting my hands on a few, more and more of these. But obviously, the problem with these rarer knives is they tend to be a little on the pricier side, and not to mention the fact that the amount of room I have to store these things is shrinking pretty rapidly. So I'd like to make more room for them. And this is just one of the knives that I saw 2025 SHOT Show case that I just thought was really neat. Making a case for America. Now, these aren't hard to get by any means, and they're not terribly expensive as far as case goes. I believe they're roughly around $80 still. Uh, 80 to 90 bucks for these, I think. I could be wrong. I could be quoting it horribly, but that's where I think they were at. But really cool knives if you're into more of the unique and somewhat rare and not like their full production stuff. That I'm just really liking Case. Case has some very beautiful knives, and I just really like the tracker pattern. They're really handy too. Really handy knives, which is why I like the trackers so much. The two blades. I do have Case knives that I carry on occasion. Not this one in particular, but I do have Case knives that I do carry on occasion. There is one Case knife that I carry with me all the time. That was a present to me from my girlfriend. It's not a trapper. It's a sod buster, so it only has one blade. But I carry it all the time because it was a present from her, and it's like keeping her with me all the time whenever I'm out and about. And I'm pretty sure I've showed that one before. Really pretty knife. That one was from Case. So yeah, part of my EDC is this one. I've shown this before. Mediterranean blue peach seed jig something mile long name Sodbuster Jr. I know there's a name to this that's like 5 miles long. But this is the one I carry with me all the time. On occasion, I will carry another one. There is a trapper that I do carry on occasion, which is, let me move some stuff. The other one that I'll carry with me is, where are you? That's not it. That's not it. That's not it. Gosh darn it. Where did I put it? I know. I carry it every now and then. Unless I stuck it. Did I stick it in a holster somewhere? I might have stuck it in a holster. And if I did that, then obviously I don't know where it's at now. Yeah, I think I might have stuck it in a holster. Shoot. Okay. Well, I don't know where I put it. It probably is sitting in a holster somewhere. Or sheath, I should say. The problem with sticking in a sheath is I can't remember where I put the darn thing. Anyway. Just rest assured it's a case of some sort. God darn it. I don't know where I put it. Okay, so that was one of the ones that I opened earlier this week. And also in the same box from Chasing Blades. This one I know, considering what Ron carries, Ron might actually be interested in seeing. This is one of those those rare knives that I've been talking about. I've shown a knife similar to this. I think one of my last lives might have been last week, and that was, where are you? This one right here. Let me open this up. The one I showed last week. God dang it! Open. Was the Best Tech Tercel, and I thought this was just one of the. It was just a fantastic knife. I love this knife. It's just a solid knife. I barely hit that lever back. Now I'm clicking it harder. They don't make this anymore. This one's discontinued. This one was first production 39 out of 100, and I got this one from Chasing Blades. They became a Best Tech distributor, and they've gotten their hands on some of their discontinued models, which I thought was really neat. And again, I showed that I'm pretty sure last week or the week before, but he ended up getting another discontinued model, and that's what ended up coming in earlier this week. I've done a video on this one already, and that's been out. So if you've been watching and paying attention, you've seen this already. This is the Best Tech Dolphin in retro. They say blue and gold, but tell me that doesn't look green. I don't know why they say retro blue, but that definitely looks like green to me. I think the green looks really good with a gold. Titanium pocket clip. It is a frame lock. Rear flipper. No other thumb hole or thumb stud to open. Yeah, like a seafoam green, but it looks really good. They called it on their website. They called it a retro blue. I really like this, how they do this blade. It's satin and like a bead blasted combination. I don't believe it's a hollow grind. I think it's a flat grind all the way through, but they do this sharp angle up to the point, and then you get this division and also different type of finish towards the front. So it's like a satin and a bead blasted blade. You got like a two-tone blade of sorts. And I just thought it was really neat. And it's not like a Tonto where you have a sharp corner either, which I really, really like. I'm just not the biggest fan of Tontos, only because it's like when I go to resharpen a Tonto, it's like having to sharpen two knives. And then you got to be really careful to keep that secondary point where it's at and then sharpen it so it doesn't start moving up or down the blade and then start looking funny. But I thought this was really pretty. Chasing Blades needs to stop because I see a knife like this and then it's really hard to say like no. This one is discontinued. This one they marked off. This one is number 14 out of 50. Now, when I say discontinued, I'm talking about the particular color, because I know the Tercel, they offer another color that's like predominantly gray. And that one I do believe is unserialized and still in production. I have seen it on sale. They have another one like this, this color is 14 out of 50. They have another one that I think is also predominantly gray, I believe, like titanium. And normally, like I've seen it everywhere as showing as out of stock, discontinued also. But I did find one place, Knife Center, had the other color of this showing as out of stock, but typically ships within like 2 to 3 days. So I'm a little confused. Cabbage, how you doing? So I'd like to think the other colors are still available. Now, they're probably not going to be serialized like this, because I think this 14 out of 50 is only for this colorway. But I think these still might be in production. I don't know. Again, it's called the Best Tech Dolphin. The only place that I've seen it say that they're just out of stock and not discontinued was Knife Center. So if you're interested in trying your luck, Knife Center would probably be the best place to check or best place to try. I believe their cost on this, at least on Best Tech, was $192 for the Dolphin. And I just realized this is, I think, the third knife that I have that's called the Dolphin. I don't know what it is with dolphins. I will say, though, the 3 dolphins that I have, including this one, have been really nice knives. This is by far the most expensive dolphin. The other dolphin knives that I have was a QSP dolphin. Really beautiful abalone handle. And then a really inexpensive, what's the name of the maker? A really inexpensive, like, modern Higanakami. Trivisa is the maker. They made one that's also called the Dolphin. But that one only runs, I believe, $25 to $30, which makes that one really affordable. But here we go. This, again, is the Best Tech Dolphin. Really nice, solid frame lock. That thing snaps the heck out of there. I love the sound of that frame lock when it snaps open, and I love the snap when it's closed. Perfectly centered. Bestech does an amazing job. I've really gotten smitten with Bestech knives. Granted, these are their discontinued high-end premium stuff, but I don't even know if I can, because I've seen much more expensive from Bestech. I'd probably say this is closer to their, like, I'd say they're like mid-tier premium, but holy crap. They do a bang-up job on these. Really solid, really comfortable. I'm really loving these knives. So that's the other one from Chasing Blades that I opened up earlier this week. I did have other packages that I opened, one of which, let me put these down. One of which I just opened yesterday. I haven't had a chance to even make a video on this yet. And this one, now you guys are getting a real unboxing because I haven't opened this yet. This one is from Kaiser. Kaiser is becoming a problem because in the last month alone, they've come out with so many amazing knives that there's no way I can keep up. And some of them are kind of on the pricier side. No, I couldn't get anything. I had my sights set on one that was called the Bully or the Staffy. And if I remember correctly, hold on, Kaiser knives. They've come out with so many really banging knives, and I can't keep up. I don't have the money for it. Staffy, Bully. Stop showing me the ads. Okay, I'm going to look at the Staffy because I think that's the same price. $239 for either one of them. Obviously, I couldn't get one. I'm going to try to. I don't know when that's going to happen. But I saw something that was more in line with my budget, and it's this here. This is called the Kaiser Seagull. Let's open this up. Nice box. Respect, innovation, and shawarma? No, sharing. Okay, there we go. Respect, innovation, and sharing. So I've been excited. I've been waiting for this one. We've got the knife here. We've got, what is this? We've got a cloth. We've got extra part. This is one thing I love about Kaiser, is they always include extra bits in case you decide to take your knife apart for cleaning or maintenance. And if it's a knife that has, like, say, a crossbar lock or something, they'll even include extra springs, which is something I always thought was awesome. Other manufacturers really need to do that. We got a Kaiser Bear sticker. Action for Dreams. Another cleaning cloth. Microfiber. I also wish their cloths were a little bigger. And, I mean, I can't complain, really. This is their, is this like a mini catalog or something, or their warranty? Is this only one sheet? Oh, I guess. Oh, okay. So it's, yeah, their manual, or if you need a manual for a knife. There you go. That was in the box. Nothing else. This is called the Seagull. Model Victor 3770 Alpha 2, 2.95 inch blade. 14C28N blade, stonewashed, with Rich Light or Blue Canyon scales, and it is also a liner lock. Let's open this up. And then I got a couple special ones I want to show you. Ooh, this is the Seagull. Now this one, if I remember correctly, was along the lines of, let me look here. I thought it was like $60. So much better in terms of affordability, at least for my wallet, compared to like the Staffy and Bully. Hopefully, like I said, I'll be able to get my hands on a Staffy or Bully sometime in the future, but I hate to say that I'm settling for this because this is a really cool looking knife. This one, oh, $69.95 on Kaiser's website is how much this one was. Now I thought this was interesting because you have, first of all, the blue Richlight. This is the only knife I've gotten so far with the Richlight scales. And they call this Blue Canyon. It almost looks kind of like a Micarta or G10. I'm not that familiar with Richlight. I do know there are other knife makers that have made good use of Richlight in their scales, but I thought it looked really, really cool. Somebody else had a Richlight, and I was looking at theirs, and it kind of like almost like a jean, like a faded blue jean. So well centered. It looked like, yep, okay. I was gonna say, because I was looking at it earlier, well centered, closed. We got a deep carry pocket clip that does not appear to be reversible, but pretty deep carry. We've got a partial liner with a lanyard hole, and I don't see any other standoffs other than that liner. We have a nestled liner lock, and this is the other thing that I thought was really cool. We've got thumb holes for deployment. We've got a front flipper and a very interesting rear flipper that doesn't really poke out. So it makes the lines on this look nice and sleek compared to like having you have your knife and then you got this big horn of a rear flipper on the back. So really sleek lines on this one. And 14C28 end blade. Let's see how this, it's kind of weird because it's not your typical flipper. Ooh, that snapped out really well. We got Kaiser on one side, Seagull, what's that there? 14C28N on the other. That snapped out really well. Let's see the lockup on this. No movement on the blade. That's pretty sweet. That's a solid lockup. Let's try the other methods. Front flipper. Very easy to do. The smoothness of that blade is fantastic. Kaiser's really been knocking it out of the park with their knives. The movement on their blades has always been really nice and smooth, no grit, really fast. I know this has got to be riding on bearings. Let me look at the bearings here. I don't know what kind of bearings, but I'm pretty, yeah, that's riding on bearings. And then we've got a thumb hole. Very easy to open, reverse flick. That was really easy. That's nice. I don't know which is my favorite way to open this thing. I admit I do have a thing for reverse flicking blades. It's just fun to do. I do that all the time with some of my other Kaisers, like the mini Militar. I'd probably annoy the hell out of my girlfriend because I'll be sitting at the computer and I'll just be doing this while I'm watching like YouTube videos or even playing a video game. That's got a nice snap to it. Is somebody bouncing on top of a police siren? What's going on over there? That feels really nice. And I love the click. And they are all very easy to open the blade with. Now, it is a nestled liner lock. You got a little cutout there. It's weird because I'm not seeing any bars. There's no standoff. So I'm wondering what is stopping the blade and keeping... Okay, I see. I do see... No, that's the pivot. Thought I saw a standoff. I think... Is it the liner that's doing all the work? I think it very well might be the liner. Either that or they have a pin or something farther inside that I'm not seeing, which is possibly the case. Oh, okay, yeah, I do see it. There's the pivot. There's a pin back around here that appears to be riding in a cutout of the tang. So there's a cutout you can't see. And that pin there is what's stopping the blade when it's fully extended and when it's closed. Okay, I was wondering how that was working. Because usually you'll see a stop pin around here somewhere through the liner, and I can just barely see it. They have it hidden pretty well. That's pretty cool. The liner lock, really easy to actuate. They got a really generous cutout here. Nice beveled edge. Don't have to dig in with my nail. Just use the pad of my thumb. So really easy to open and close. And also has a very generous finger choil that has some a bit of jimping in there. Also on the scale. So you can choke up really nice on the blade and do some real precise cutting. You get some precise control over that knife. And I like the shape. It's almost a leaf. Yeah, it's almost like a leaf blade. Because it kind of comes out, it flares out just a little before dropping almost to a spear point. I don't know what they call this. They probably call it a drop point, but it almost looks like a leaf point or leaf blade. You got some jimping also on the back. So you got some jimping where the finger choil is. You got some jimping back here where the thumb would go. Or you can choke up even further, and there's some jimping at the very front of the blade here. So if you were, for even more precise control, like whittling, things like that, if you hold your blade like this, that's a pretty comfortable place to put your finger, and it's very far away from the blade edge. You can place your forefinger on top here and do your cutting this way. That's a very comfortable knife. And at just under 3 inches, not a problem for me to carry at all. Might have another favorite knife. Kaiser's been knocking it out of the park with these. Ooh. That made my ear ring. I have a sensitive left ear, and only one other knife has made it ever ring like that when I've opened, and that would be the Ontario Rat Model 1. That one would make my ear like ring every time I opened it. This one just did. I like it. That is a very smooth blade. Very nice snap. Very solid lockup. Kind of want another one. I know they come in different finishes. There's obviously this one with a rich light. They had another one. What's the other colors on these? Because I do like, I have like way too many black ones. They have a black micarta or like a dark gray micarta scaled version, similar knife blade, and then they have a blackened blade with appears to be like a light beige aluminum, except that one tends to run a little bit more expensive at $79.99. I personally am not the biggest fan of coated blades unless it's like a nice mirrored DLC. So that's why I went with a rich light. I wanted something other than black for once, and then a nice uncoated blade. And this fits the bill. This is very excellent. I like the look of those scales. I don't know what you guys think of that, but it totally reminds me of like blue jeans. And a nice pocket clip. I like how there's a nice smooth end or turn on this pocket clip. Hopefully it won't snag as often and you're not yanking on stuff if you brush against them. But there's another close-up of the jimping on the back where the thumb would normally go, where you can put on the forefinger. up towards the front of the blade. Another close up of the jimping at the finger choil. A nice little sharpening choil past that. Pretty nice. That's sweet. Again, like $69.99. That's from Kaiser's website. I haven't seen this available on any other website yet. I'm going to be playing with this a lot. It's just a matter of time, I guess. God, that gets louder and louder. There we go. Really cool blade from Kaiser. I hope I can show off some of the other ones in the future, but again, it's going to take a little while. I don't have... I was talking earlier to Morgan about the lottery. I don't know if you guys are entering into the lottery at all. I may have tossed $50 into the lottery. Just hoping. Wishful thinking. If I can win it, I'm definitely going to be getting more knives, that's for sure. Also, new house, probably car and other stuff. But definitely more knives. So even if I win it a partial, maybe I can get my hands on some of the other Kaisers, because they've been hammering these out like crazy, and they've been doing a fantastic job on these. The Pioneer is another one that I've been wanting to get my hands on. The Staffy, the Bully, those were made by Osho, who makes one of my favorite Kaiser knives, which is the Bulldog. I'm not sure who designed this one. It doesn't say any particular designer name. Not that I can see anyway. Yeah. They don't say a specific designer. Either that or I missed it. Yeah, so I don't know who did this, but freaking thumbs up on this one. Have I seen the new acrylic cicada wing? Kevin. I'm not sure which one. No, I don't think I have. I have 2 cicada wings, but I believe they're both G10. I'm not going to even put this back in the bag because I'm going to keep this one out. I like it. It's mine. It's mine now. And I got to do some work on it anyway. Maintenance stuff. But yeah, the cicada wings. Hold on. Do I have my cicada wings here? Thought I have them here somewhere. Okay, maybe not this case. I think they're in another case. Oh, I have CJRB in this case. Let me check my other case. Best Tech. Where's my Best Techman? Yeah, these are the cicada wings I have. They're both G10. I have this one, which is the light blue with a black blade. And then I've got the black, which I think I did an unboxing previously, with a red blade. Guy was selling them today, just came out. Yeah, I wouldn't mind checking them out. I really do like the Best Techman cicada wings. They're just nice, inexpensive knives. I'm gonna do. I'm hoping soon. I'm gonna do a video on some of my favorite budget knives under like $50. And admittedly, as I was thinking about it, I kind of surprised myself at some of the stuff that you can get at a surprisingly inexpensive price point for the quality. And one of them will probably end up being like those Best Tech cicadas wings. Let me close that one. While you're checking that out, I've got 2 more knives to show you that came in. And these 2 are special to me because they might be... Yeah, send them in Discord. Let me check them out in Discord. I wouldn't mind seeing those. So these 2 knives that I'm going to show you next might be the end of part of my collection. Might. Because I've been collecting things like these, for example. Oh, wait. There's the trapper I was looking for. It's not the one I was talking about. This is the other trapper that I was talking about earlier that I couldn't find. That's because I wrapped it up. This one is a case knife, a 6.5 bone stag. But this is the other trapper I was talking about that I'll carry with me on occasion. Back to what I was talking about. One type of knife that I've been trying to find everywhere has been knives like this. And I've shown these before. This is a case squirrel knife. I've also got a case trapper squirrel. I've got a remet squirrel. I think you guys are catching a theme here. I've been hunting down knives that are related to squirrels because, you know, why the hell not? I thought it was a fun thing to do. It started when I saw this knife, and I started hunting more and more down. There was another one that's currently in a jeweled box that gave me some trouble to find, and also made by Case. So I have like 3 case knives that are squirrel knives. I've got a remet knife that's called the Squirrel, and I've been trying to track down every other knife that I could find that either had a squirrel graphic or was called a squirrel. And I think I found the last 2. Let me wrap this up real quick. I think I might have found the last 2 to finish off the squirrel collection. Now, it's possible there might be more out there. I've done some searching, and maybe I've missed it. But if you guys catch wind of another knife that's either got a squirrel or is called a squirrel, let me know. Comment either here or in the Discord. Let me know, because I'd like to have them. Now, there are knives called like squirrel hunters that I haven't grabbed, because usually they depict, if they have a graphic, they depict squirrels being hunted. Not that I have anything against hunting, but I would just like, you know, just the squirrel itself. And usually those squirrel hunters have like a squirrel being chased like by dogs and hunters and stuff like that. I just like want the squirrel. So that's why I haven't picked those up. And I've only seen like 1 or 2 of those around. But the other 2 squirrel knives I got that I'm going to show you are these. This one I put in the slipcase is called, yeah, there's also squirrel skinning knives. So they kind of fall out of what I'm looking for. I'm looking for something that's literally called either just squirrel or has the squirrel itself depicted on it. Not, you know, people eating squirrel or hunting squirrel or beating squirrels with sticks. No, those I haven't tried. I'm just looking for straight squirrels. This one is a French-made knife, and this one actually kind of surprised me because it's not what I thought it was. This one is called the Duc. I hope I'm saying this right because it sounds weird to me. But then again, I'm not French. This is called the Duc Squirrel. Please tell me if I'm pronouncing that correctly or completely incorrectly. It's a French-made knife that at first I thought was like the Japanese Higanakami. And that I thought it was a friction folder, meaning that it just, the blade was held by friction alone. But it's not. Now, again, it's called the Duc, I think is the name of the company or the brand. D-O-U-K, just Duc repeated. This is called the Squirrel, and it does have a depiction of a squirrel on it. Hey, Kyle, how you doing? It does have a depiction of a squirrel on it. And they have other knives that they made. I forgot the other names because I was only interested in the squirrel. But there we got the squirrel. And it's not a friction folder. What it is it's a slip joint, except you don't see the spring. The spring is actually behind this. It's actually inside this bent metal handle. And you got a nail nick to open. And you got a midpoint. Again, this surprised me because I thought it was going to be like just a friction based. And I'll show you what I mean by friction based. Now, let me grab let me grab that knife. And I'll show you what I mean by friction based. Where's my Higanakami? There we are. Nope, that's the wrong one. Wrong knife roll. I want this knife roll, which is currently stuck to something. What the hell? This is what I mean by friction based. This is a Higanakami. And there's no spring to this. You've got a lever here, and it's just the friction of the pivot that is kind of holding the blade. In fact, the instructions, like if this blade ever feels loose, I've seen pictures of instructions where you're supposed to take a mallet and basically smash down on this a little bit more to fix it. It's just that simple. But there's no bearings, there's no anything else. It's just how this is squeezed against the blade, which is what's keeping it open. And then when you're using it, you place your thumb on the lever, and that helps keep it open and not closing on your fingers. But that's a Higanakami. That's a friction folder. That's what I thought this originally was going to be. But then you've got a spring in there, so it's basically like a French-made traditional knife. Except you've got, I'm assuming stainless steel handle wrapped around that spring that's in there. And just a neat little knife. Very simplistic. Again, I could not ignore the fact that it was a squirrel knife. I had to pick it up. I don't know what kind of steel this is, to be honest. I believe it to be just, I don't know, some nameless stainless steel. What did they actually say what it was? Let me look. I might just be forgetting. I might have looked at this before. You know my memory. Let's see here. Squirrel folder. I don't believe they actually say what kind of steel. But apparently these have been in production for like over 70 years. Used recently for decades by the French Army and the French Foreign Legion. Ah, okay, didn't know that. That's interesting. They don't really say what it's made out of. If somebody could tell me what type of steel that blade is, that'd be awesome. I'm guessing it's anywhere between like a 420 HC or 440 A, B, or C steel. That's my guess. But yeah, oh no, they say carbon steel blade. Okay, that's all the information they have. So this is something I'll want to wax or oil to keep from rusting. Good to know. So we got a carbon steel blade in a steel handle, and I don't know. There, like I said, there's a spring like you would see on your traditional knives in there. It's just inside this handle, as opposed to a lot of times with the traditional knives, like that case I showed earlier, you can see the spring on the back. And this one is just all hidden, and a really good snap on that. And another thing I like to check is it doesn't roll the edge when I snap it shut. So surprisingly well made for such an inexpensive knife. When I say inexpensive, oh good. It's got a good snap, so I get a little nervous. On Amazon, I think I got it less for this, or I think I paid less for this because I got this one on eBay, but not by much. I think I paid like $35. On Amazon, they're showing $37.09 for these. So not terribly expensive. It's a surprisingly decent knife. I don't know how you'd compare it to other knives that are in that category price-wise. Obviously, there are a lot of other knives for that cost that have a few more bells and whistles. I was just intrigued because the fact that I have a thing for very simplistic knives, and B, it's got the squirrel on there, so I had to get it. This, I believed, was a lanyard hole. So you can attach a lanyard to the knife. But I was told it's actually a lock. So now I don't have to worry about the knife opening. So that's another neat little extra. Hey, Goon, how you doing? So that's the second to last squirrel that I've got. And the one that I think, again, unless somebody can find otherwise, and seriously, if you guys find another squirrel knife that I don't have, I'd love to see it. The other one that I got, we'll put this back in here. And we'll put my Higanakami away. I love these. They're simplistic, but that's part of the reason why I like these so much. Traditional Japanese knife. Let me put this away, and then we'll take a look at the last squirrel knife that I got. And then we'll do maintenance and all that other fun stuff. This one actually came with its own sheath. So we've got what I believe could be a thin leather sheath. I don't know. Kind of roughly made. And I'm going to tell you, these are old. I'm pretty sure they don't produce them. They're not hard to come across. So they're not like super rare, but they're old. I don't believe they're made anymore. And I don't have a name. But this is... It's a squirrel knife. You can see the depiction of the squirrel there. Okay. I don't know why this is, cut out on one side and it's not cut out on the other. And this does have a spring like our traditional, the American traditional knives have. So it does, I believe, have, I can't remember if it had a midpoint or not. Now, there's a problem with this. It doesn't open. When I saw these knives, I wanted to get one of these really bad. But they were, I think I was looking at like close to $40, another $20 in shipping. And I knew these weren't expensive knives to begin with. And I was really reluctant to nab it at like nearly $50. But then I found one, and this one was, they said it was $20. But they did tell me they had a hard time opening it. And it's going to need sharpening. So I decided, what the heck, why not? I figured I'd grab it, first of all, to finish my collection of squirrel knives. And second of all, to see if I can do anything to fix it. Worst case scenario, I end up hunting down and buying another one. But I figured for $20, if I can get this to open and work, and we're going to do that on stream here, I might be able to luck out and have a really nice addition to my squirrel collection. So it's a single blade. Now, like I said, there is a spring here. So there's going to be some, it's a slip joint. So it'll kind of lock in the open, I'm sure. I don't know if it has a midpoint. But let's move on to the next phase of the show and see if we can't get this one to open up and say hello. So those are all the new knives I've gotten in the last week. The Kaiser, the Case, the Best Tech Dolphin, those 2 Christmas presents that Morgan's not supposed to know about. And oh wait, no, there's one other knife. Forgot. There is a Titan knife that I got that I opened up early because I forgot why. And this one is a fixed blade. This is another Titan. I just liked it because there's a nice bone handle. 02 steel blade, fixed. Nice little EDC sized knife. As usual, they came with a leather holster. Is this focusing well? I know sometimes it's hard to focus some of these. But really good polishing job on these knives. Another Titan, another knife from Titan International. And I got some interesting news from Chasing Blades as well. they've been a distributor for a knife maker called Texan Knives. And they do some amazing Damascus. And I might be acquiring some of their knives eventually. I can't wait. I know I have one currently being held for me. It's just a matter of I eventually have to pay for it and they'll ship it to me. But anyway, let's get back to the squirrel knife and let's see if we can't get this one to work. Because I did spend 20 bucks on it. I would like it to work and not have to buy another one to finish my collection. So let me grab an oil cloth. So I'm not pouring oil everywhere. I'm using that. Excuse me. But other than that, so I know, oh, I never answered, I never really answered, was it Kevin? No, it wasn't Kevin. Ron's thing, because I think Ron mentioned what his daily carry has been. My daily carry currently has been these two knives. This is the Ontario Rat Model 2. I know I've done a video on the Model 1 before. I'm pretty sure I did an unboxing of this or showed this on last week's live. It's essentially the same as the Model 1, except this one is a 3-inch blade, so a smaller blade. So it stays within like legal guidelines here where I live. Awesome, awesome knife. I love the Ontario. Obviously, the one I showed earlier, the Case Sodbuster Jr. That's pretty much been my daily carry for the last few days. All right, so that answers that question as far as daily carry knives. Now let's see if we can get this one to work. Now, because I don't know the condition of this one when I attempt to open it, and it'd probably be a very good idea to be somewhat careful, because the last thing I want to do is make this show about how I like to draw blood. We're going to protect ourselves a little bit. So I got some cut gloves. And these are the best cut gloves that I've got anyway. These seem to be pretty popular, I know that. And hopefully you can get this working. I need another cloth with oil on it. There we go. I also need some coffee. So how has everybody been doing? Has anybody got anything new in the knife world? Now, I do have a Discord. I can't remember if I have the link to it. I don't know, Morgan, if you want to throw the link up in chat again. If you haven't joined the Discord, I thought that would be a great way to like share photos of your collection and stuff like that with others. I know Dream Crusher's been throwing photos up. I know Waylon's been throwing some really cool knives. I've never been the biggest fan of Spyderco, but some of the Spyderco knives that you've been showing, Waylon, have been really intriguing. Not gonna lie. Okay. Now, ooh, when did I cut this cloth? How'd that happen? Okay, let's see if we can't get this to work. Now, they said that they couldn't open it. So my guess is it's either rusted in there, but I'm not seeing rust. I'm seeing some dirt and gunk. Oh, I never mentioned what this was. I don't know what this is. The only information I have on this knife is it's a vintage USSR Soviet squirrel pocket knife. And that's all I know about it. Found it on eBay. Now they've got a bunch on eBay, so it's not like super rare. Um, but on eBay, I think they average around like 30 and up in cost. Again, I got this for 20 bucks because they did tell me they had an issue with it. These are old knives. What other information that I have on this? I thought I opened up a window. But yeah, USSR Soviet pocket knife is all I've got in terms of the name, to be quite honest. That's it. So if anybody has further information on this particular knife, I'd love to hear it. All about pocket knives. Knives of Russia. Oh, that doesn't help me. That shows me other stuff. I thought there was another website I saw, but yeah, I don't really have much information on this one. So yeah, USSR Soviet, and that's about it. So right now, all I'm doing is I'm pouring a little oil in all the pivot areas, all the, well, it's only one real pin that I can see as far as I know. Now we're gonna let that sit for a little bit, let that soak in. Full transparency, most of yours are clones. I have to check out some of it because I've never seen those Spydercos before. Again, I don't normally hunt them down because I was never the biggest fan. But I know when you showed that one with a straighter blade as opposed to having that really funny bird-like look, I did look it up, and I think I've seen a lot of really expensive. I can't remember the model number, but they were pretty pricey. Spydercos tend to be pretty pricey. But from what I understand, they're made with real premium components, like real premium, like premium steel and stuff like that. So, cost, I guess, is understandable. It's also with a lot of those models being handmade or made in the USA. Just wiping off some excess oil. I'm hoping it's worked its way in there. Where do I have? I have some brushes. Let's grab a few of these. These gloves they're not bad gloves, but they don't make it easy to manipulate stuff. There we go. I just need like one or two. I don't need 20 billion. There we go. That's the Capara. It's the newer design. Yeah, I think that's the one I was interested in because it didn't have that weird bird look to it. I don't know what it is about the look because I do have knives that have a similar look to it. I'm letting that soak in a little bit. Actually, I have one knife that I absolutely love that kind of has a similar look to Spyderco. That would be this one, the Kaiser Cormorant. Oh, the glove does not make it easy. There we go. So it kind of has that look of a Spyderco, but it's not a rounded. It's not like a circular hole that most Spydercos have. It does kind of have a bird-like look to it, which is I think why they call this the Cormorant. This is their video game version. Has the PlayStation buttons on it, and but this I believe has S35 VN steel, and this was one of the least expensive knives that I've ever gotten that had S35 VN. If I remember correctly, like for some odd reason, these were going for like $70, and I think the other versions were normally like closer to 100. Button lock, really neat blade, really smooth. Just like it's harder with these gloves. Like every Kaiser that I've gotten before. Neat little ting when it opens up or when it closes too. But yeah, that's the closest thing to a Spyderco that I have in terms of blade shape. I put that back in the case. Let's see how this knife is doing. Some are USA. Yeah, some Spydercos are USA. Some are Taiwan. Obviously the lower price point. They might be USA designed, but they're Taiwan made. Nothing against Taiwan at all. I've got some really nice knives that are from Taiwan, but the US made ones do generally go for a premium. I was looking at some of their Salt series. I have a hard time getting past the weird blade shape. This looks goofy to me. Okay, let's see how this did. Now, let's see if I can just open this. Come on. Yeah. Oh, I had these brushes. Did they work? Any? Let go. That oil in there. Maybe rub some of the gunk off. Not a lot's coming off. A little bit. The brush isn't coming out like as dark as I expected it to. I expected this thing to just turn completely black. I hope that's not rust. It doesn't appear to be rust. Focus. Focus, please. It's got some gunk in there, but it doesn't appear to be rust. I'm actually kind of surprised. Okay, something flew out. I don't know what that was. Come on. Oh, I like the cormorant. I do like the cormorant. Which is, like I said, it's kind of weird that I have trouble with Spydercos, but I really like the cormorant. I think you can still get you can't get that PlayStation one. I think those were limited. And they had various designs of that black and white. I don't know if those are still available because I know those were limited. I think they have one in kind of like a green grenade type pattern. Really? I think they have like a green grenade type pattern that's still available, and I think that goes for around $70. I can't remember. I'd have to look it up. But I know that is still supposed to be available. Let's put a little more oil on this thing. Being a pain. I hope I didn't just waste $20. I could put the $20 towards the lottery. We'll give that a minute. We'll look up the cormorant while that hopefully wicks in. Oh, great. Now I can't type with these gloves on either. Kaiser Cormorant. Yeah, okay, yeah. So it has the... Okay. So $72 on Amazon. Similar to what I had there in terms of style, except it has an olive green frag G10 handle, so it's kind of like patterned like a grenade. And it comes with 154 CM steel as opposed to the one that I've got is S35 VM for $72. In fact, like I said, I think I got mine for even cheaper than that. I don't know why they marked those down so inexpensive. There's a new one with gamer scales. Is that also the cormorant? Maybe they really re-released it. I don't know. I haven't seen it. I'll have to check it out on Kaiser's website. Because it was such a good knife. What do they even have a cost? I'm going to type in cormorant and see what happens on their site. No products found. Am I spelling this right? Or am I spelling it wrong? Oh, C. Derp. Okay, I see. They did have one. They have a black and white, like pixelated version with Nitro V steel. And they have an SMKW exclusive, which doesn't appear to be... Yeah, it's sold out. It looks like made out of candy. That's actually kind of neat. And then they have the green frag for 72. I don't know why the one I had, the one with the PlayStation buttons, Because when I got it, it was very inexpensive in comparison to these. Like, I'm pretty sure it was even lower than the 69. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was lower than that. And it was the only one out of the group that was that low. Otherwise, the others were close to 100, if not over $100, because again, the S35VN steel is like a premium steel. So I don't know why they sold that at a much lower price point. It's kind of weird. I wish I knew. I wish there was a way to see their older versions, but I'm not seeing a way. Like I could look up out of stock, but it just shows me the candy cane or the Christmas candy version. Okay. Oh, it didn't show the red and white. That one was black and white. I didn't see the red and white one, unless that's showing somewhere else. I was looking at the Kaiser website. Let's see if that little bit more of oil worked on this one. I'm kind of curious to know how old this was, but he couldn't give me any further information on this knife. Just that they're vintage knives. I don't know what he means by vintage, like as in like 2000, or vintage as in like 1960 or older. Just from the condition of the knife, I'd like to say older, but I don't know. I have no idea. I'm still surprised I'm not seeing any rust on it. I see some dark spots, but I don't believe that's rust. I mean, it possibly could have been. I don't know. But usually I'll see a hint of like a rust color on the brush. I'm not seeing anything on that. If anything, a little bit more black. Come on. Oh, yeah. You weren't kidding. This thing is... I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm having a hard time gripping it with the gloves. Okay, you know what? Time for drastic measures. Let's cover that up. And where'd I put it? Where's my tool? There we are. My massive Leatherman tool. Now, hopefully, I don't break this, because I would like for it to work. I would like to have not wasted $20. I would like to not have to hunt another one of these down. Although I do know that these come in a brown color also. But I think originally they were black. Okay, that's the blade. Let's see if this works. I'm just doing this so I don't end up scratching the blade. Come on. Oh, there we go. Hey, oh, there's all the oil. Hey, it opened up. Please don't snap down. Please don't snap down. I would like to keep a finger. Oh, nice snap on that. Hey, we got it open. Yay. So that's the shape of the blade. Slight. I don't know if this has been sharpened in the past. I don't believe it to be. Because usually when I see a knife that's been hand sharpened, the scratch marks on the edge are at an angle. Usually. And these go almost completely perpendicular to the edge. So I don't believe this has ever been sharpened. I don't think it has. It has a slight curve to it. I don't know. It's hard to tell. Might be straight. Clip point. That oil really flooded in there. Oh, and it's hard to tell. It looks dirty in there. It's naughty dirty. But actually not as dirty as I thought. Let go. I love this thing. It's massive. It's beefy. It's way too heavy for me to carry. I love it all the same. So I wipe some of that off. And we're going to pour some oil into the well. And where that? I don't know what happened to that other brush. Oh, that other brush done ran away. And let's see if we can't clean on the inside and maybe get this to work without having to use a set of pliers. That's the aim anyway. Yeah, there's stuff in there. Whatever it is, it's coming off. But oddly enough, again, doesn't appear to be rust. So I don't know what the deal is, why this one was so hard to open. This is a lot interesting than I expected it to be. Do you have a link for that cormorant? I wouldn't mind seeing it. Ugh. Oh, and I was looking at some of those Wixcos that I think Dreamcatcher had. Pretty interesting. I wish I had more money to just spread around and start like experimenting with manufacturers that I've never heard of before. Oh, wow. Okay, a lot of stuff came out of there. Unfortunately, I got to be kind of picky. I will say I do have some interesting stuff coming in next week. Admittedly, probably the most expensive knife I'll ever own, unless somebody gives me something more expensive. But quite possibly the most expensive knife coming to my collection will be coming in next week. And I know there's a lot of people that have knives in the $500 range and up, and this one's not in the $500 range, believe me. The knife I'm thinking of was closer to just under $300. But still, the most expensive knife that will end up being in my collection, provided it gets here next week. Believe me, I'm hoping and praying. Okay, so I am seeing a little bit of rust color, just a hair. So I'm beginning to think there might be a hint of rust in here. Now, I can't really take this apart. All I can do is give it a good scrubbing with this oil and hope that'll prevent further rusting. And I don't know if that's something else causing that color, but my guess is it's probably rust. And unfortunately, even this brush is a little on the thick side. And I can't even get all the way into that well. I'm going to have to grab a toothpick. I'll be right back. Let me grab one of those real quick, because the toothpick's the only thing that's going to be able to get farther into that and maybe clear some of that rust out. Hold on a second. I'm in my living room now. There it is. Right here, the TV. Okay. So let's see if we can't scrape anything else out. We're going to go the toothpick route, since this thing is surprisingly too thick. Let's see if I can get a toothpick in there. So kind of a restoration. I really hope I can get this to work. I'm ecstatic that I got it to open up. Okay, toothpick can get in there. So that's good. Wish it was easier to see. Wow. Okay, well that broke. Might be a little over enthusiastic with the toothpick. I'm not seeing any more discoloration. So I'm hoping I managed to scrape the majority of whatever was in there out. Huh. It's actually looking a hell of a lot cleaner than it was before. That's for sure. And I'm not getting any more black stuff out of there. Whatever that was. I can see, oh, okay, I see why this might have had trouble opening. This is not anywhere close to being perfectly straight. And I don't know if that's something I can correct. I'm trying not to break this. I'm going to do this slowly. But there is a bend on this knife. So it's definitely hitting against the side of the scales or the liner. And that could be the reason that this was having trouble. I don't want to snap anything, but trying to gently bend it in place. Oh, this has a hell of a snap. Okay, well, that closed. See if I can get it open again. Or if I'm going to need to use my pliers. Come on, you. I have to use my pliers again. I think I see the issue. There might be more than one way to correct this, too. Okay. Well, at least I can get it open with the pliers. That's good. Let go. And what I'm trying to show you here is you can see, now that I have it open, there's a definite bend to the blade. Here we got my sharpener nice and straight. I don't know if I can show it any better. Oh, you know what? There's a line here. If you can see it, I'm gonna line the scales up as best I can. Nice and straight. There we go. Oh no, you can't see it. Gosh darn it. I don't have a ruler with me. Maybe I can do this. Make the cloth nice and straight. And then I'll lay that down the flat part. You can see how the blade is ever so much. I was gonna say ever so slightly, but no, it's pretty obvious. It's going that direction. You got the blade nice and straight, or the handle nice and straight. The scale's nice and straight, and this blade is decidedly heading towards the east. And I think that's where we're running into trouble. Now, oddly enough, though, when I close this blade, I thought it was going to be rubbing on this side of the scale, but I think it's rubbing on the opposite side. Okay, there it is. Yeah, it's rubbing on that scale. Let's see. We might be able to fix that. There might be another way to fix that without... I'm worried about snapping the blade because I'm not familiar with the steel on this one. I need a strongish pry bar. And I thought this would have one. But of course, these gloves are going to make things difficult. These should work. All right, so I'm going to try to bend it from the pivot. I'm trying not to damage the metal on this. Open up a little bit, even just a little. Oh, hello. I don't know if that was a combination of the oil and what I just did, but I was able to open that out without needing the pliers. So that's a start. Still got a pretty vicious bend in it. That straightened it out a little bit. You really the anatomy mat? Thank you. This one, if you want one of these, this is from NAFS. He's a knife designer as well. I actually have a link to this down below if you're interested. I got it from Amazon. You can click the link for this mat. It's like a mouse pad / counter mat for like mat stores. Yeah, you feel that? Yeah, I'm trying to be careful. And it's possible I might. Yeah, I'm trying not to because I'd really like to keep this guy. I seem to have straightened it out a little bit. A little. Because I don't want to break it for two reasons. A, I'd like to keep it. B, I would prefer not to have anything snap and then fly in my face, which is why I'm wearing the gloves. Although I'm pretty sure that would make for a great YouTube show. Oh, okay, so that's not perfectly straight, but it's better. It's still kind of going that a ways. But it's not going that a ways as much as before. Let's see how that acts now. Still got the snap. Still rub it against the edge a little bit. But I can open it without using the pliers, so that's a plus. Is it still... I'm trying to see if every time I open it, it like resets that bend, but it's not. I don't know if Morgan's screaming or just refusing to look every time I do this. Because I know she was screaming about like, get some gloves. It's getting straighter. Oh, it was pretty bad before. This is what I was calling the pucker snap that Chasing Blades would do. He'd open up a knife and he'd be showing the knife, and again, he doesn't have gloves on. He'd just be casually going, yeah, it's got some good snap, it's got this, and he'll just do this. And he doesn't have gloves on. And every time he does that, it makes me pucker. It makes my other end pucker, which is why I call it the pucker snap. I've given it a name. He snaps, I pucker. It's straighter. You're waiting for the I got hit the ER. Okay, so that's why I've got the gloves. Now, don't get me wrong. These are the best as far, well, they're not the best gloves. If you want nearly impervious cut gloves, these are cut resistant. If you want the best cut gloves on the market, they're generally going to be like chainmail, like metal chainmail. These obviously are not metal chainmail. I forgot what they're impregnated with. But I have, like, I think Melissa Backwoods did it once. She had an extremely sharp knife, and she was doing cutting tests, and she wasn't paying attention. And I think she was chopping rope or cutting rope, and she wasn't paying attention. and it did cut into the glove. Again, they're cut resistant, but they're not cut proof. So if your guys are looking for cut resistant gloves and stuff like that, just be aware they're not going to save you from everything. Granted, yeah, she had a really sharp knife, and what she was doing, she was leveraging into it like pretty harshly, but she did actually manage to cut herself through these gloves. I think these are the same gloves or similar gloves. But I mean, as far as cut resistant gloves are, these are probably one of the better ones on the market. And that, you know, provided you don't go chainmail. If you want the best ones in the market, you go chainmail gloves. They're literally metal gloves. And usually where you see a lot of people using those gloves are usually like at fish markets, because when they're doing a lot of fish prepping, and they've got some incredibly sharp knives, like butchers will have them. Those are the only times I've really seen anybody use those chainmail link gloves. But then when you're cutting a ton of meat and you've got a knife that can slice through bone like it was nothing, yeah, that's chainmail. Are we straight? Are we? It keeps wanting to. Okay, no, a little bit, still a little bit off. Come on. Come on. You can do it. You can do it without slicing my hand in two. There we go. Actually, I think that's the best I'm going to get it. That's not bad. It's still got a slight bend to it. It's still very slightly. I wish I had a ruler. Well, let's use this. Still a very slight, in this case now upward turn, going a little bit that way. Yeah, that's the one thing I'm worried about. Which I should be doing this. This is how I should be doing it. Hold on. Let's try to be safe here. I should be doing it under a cloth. This way, if anything does snap, hopefully the cloth will pick it up or catch it. Squirrel taken out by knife shrapnel. News at 9. I'm more worried about it just breaking. I know it's only $20, but actually it's better now. Give it one more bend. We'll wrap it up. This is how I should have been doing it. Wait, hold on. Which way am I bending this thing? That way. No. Wait. Which way am I bending this? Yeah, okay. No, the thing is I was aware. Because like I said, these knives, when I was hunting them down, were generally like 30 or over. And a lot of cases it was $30 and over with some ridiculous shipping. I saw this for a heavily discounted price. And they did state that it was very difficult to open, and that would probably need sharpening. So I was aware that I had something that very well could have been, or that very well was a fixer. So I went into it knowing. I'm trying to line this up with my eye. Still a slight bend, but we're getting there. And this is not something that I would resell. Like I said, the reason why I got this is because it's a squirrel knife. Some old vintage USSR thing. So I knew what I was getting into. Now, if they were like, it doesn't open and, might need sharpening and it's $50, and screw that. I'll live without it. But it was very inexpensive, especially in comparison to the other ones. So I wanted to try my hand at it. Because if I were to get the other ones that I had contemplated that were, I guess, in working order, it would have cost me $50-$60 total. I thought I'd try to save some cash. Because again, it's not something that I'm planning on reselling. This is something that's going to stay in my collection. It's part of my squirrel collection. Now, if I had gotten it and paid for it and they hadn't put in the description anything other than, hey, it's a vintage USSR knife, have fun, here's a cookie, then I probably would have been more pissed. Of course, I would have been a little bit more leery of the price. Like, why are you selling it for so cheap compared to everybody else? So, yes, I knew what I was getting into. Okay, it's not perfectly straight. That's pretty damn good now. I'm just trying to do this a little bit at a time. Hammer, best universal tool. Yep. I don't want to hammer it, which is why I'm doing it slowly and bit by bit. So I don't know how well this would hold up to a hammering. Again, I don't believe these knives were particularly expensive to begin with, even when they were brand new way back when. Heck, I'm surprised that it's a. I'm even surprised it's a slip joint, to be quite honest. It's about as straight as I think I'm going to get it. But the hammer is satisfying. Yeah, no, I'm not going to argue with that. Okay, so it's still butted up against the scale. I don't know if you can see that. Hold on. But I don't hear the scraping sound as bad as when I first opened this up. And it is much easier to open with one hand now. Or not with one hand, but with just, without using the pliers. Although, I don't know if it's just me, but that bend seems to have returned after closing it. Let's see here. One last push. I almost want to bend it completely in the opposite direction. I'm just horrified I'm going to hear a snap. That's what I'm worried about. Yeah, I think that's about as good as it's going to get. I'm wondering if there's another way I can bend it while closed. It's got a really good spring on it. Like, it's got a good snap to it. I've had new knives that didn't have this good of a snap to it. I'm wondering if now the pivot area seems to be a little pinched, and that's what I'm wondering about. And when I mean pinched, like squeezed into itself a little bit. So let's see if I can spread those apart a little bit. Preferably without breaking something. Yeah, I can open it now without using pliers, which is a massive improvement. Pucker snap. Much better than it was. It's still got a slight bend to it. I don't know if that's something I'll be able to really get rid of. But that's a hell of a lot better than it used to be, I can tell you that. Now, maybe, just maybe, I might have to do some hammering, but I don't believe that's going to be needed. I just wish I can get rid of the last of that bend on this blade. I'm just worried that I'm getting to the point of where I'm going to snap it. And I don't want to snap it. I mean, it's still got the slightest bend in this direction, but much, I mean, compared to where it was before, this is a vast improvement. But you can still see it's just got, oh, focus. Focus. Come on, you can do it. I know you can do it. Damn it. Focus, will you? Oh, there's a close-up of the squirrel. There we go. But just the barest bend, and it's a little exaggerated looking because of that. I mean, the grind on this isn't perfect either. The grind is a little weird. But a definite improvement over what it was. I need a sip of coffee. This is a workout. All right. So we're at the point where I can at least open it, snap it shut. Like I said, good snap. Really good snap on the open too. That kind of smacked me. I mean, to be quite honest, for as old as it is and the condition it is, that spring is freaking strong. I think it's actually workable now. Now that I can open and close it, I think it'll just continue to work itself a little better. If I can do this a few more times, I'll basically keep working it. It'll loosen up more. Yeah. I mean, that, compared to not being able to open it when we first started, that's not bad. That bend seems to keep returning. And I think that's because the scales, I believe the scales might be bent. Now that I'm looking at it, the scales have their own little curve. I don't know how I could fix that. Maybe if I'm actually standing up. Oh, I hit my camera. Trying to bend the scales a little. Still able to open. Yeah, that's some solid freaking springs. But it's better. It's definitely a hell of a lot better than what it was. You see how far I'm bending this blade too. I'm doing that, add a little bit more oil again. Just keep adding oil to work it in there. Because as I keep opening and closing that, I'm sure I'm hitting new bits of metal. I don't know if it's because my gloves are a little slippery. I mean, I've been pouring oil on it, so there we go. Like, you can hear that snap on the spring. It's crazy. Like, I'm still afraid, though, it's going to cut on the snap. Okay, let's try something. Oh, you know, I never did test that Kaiser out either. I should have done that while I had the Kaiser out. I'm going to do a separate video on the Kaiser. That I got the Kaiser Seagull. So I'll do a cutting test then. Excuse me. Okay, so it's It's got an edge to it. Not the best edge. Yeah. Oh, well, that cut. That was weird. Oh, or it just ripped. Maybe it just ripped. Let's try. You know how I mentioned in my videos that you can. Reason why I like using magazine paper is by feel and sound and also looking at the cut. I mean, it's got an edge, but I don't know if you can see it here. You can see it's not the cleanest cut. That's a lot of tearing. Where if I took something like, say, the SRMs are ungodly sharp. I don't know how they make them so sharp. But if I were to get one of the SRMs out, it glides through the paper, and the cut that it makes through the paper could probably cut another piece of paper. They are crazy sharp. This one, and then you can see also it's hanging on to a lot of that magazine paper. You can see a big chunk right there. Massive chunk. So, yeah, they weren't kidding that this is going to need an edge. Now, I don't think I'm going to need the gloves further. So I'm going to take those off. What we're going to do. Do I want to use this or do I want to use my big one? My big one. Might use my big one. I'm going to use my lesser expensive sharpening stone to start things off. Mainly because I've been testing these out to see how well it does, and it's been doing a pretty good job, but I haven't had that much opportunity to play around with it. Sometimes, not all the time. So we are going to do this. Let's leave this on. I'm going to get a lot of metal dust everywhere. We're going to start on the high grit side, or the low grit side, I should say. And these were inexpensive diamond stones, 400. Probably should go lower, but I don't have a lesser one in this case. I have, you know what? I did have another set of stones I haven't used. I could give them a try. These were insanely inexpensive, but have gotten pretty good reviews from some pretty big names. How low does this go? Oh, this doesn't go much lower. This is a 400 also. Never mind. I thought I had a lower grit. Yeah, these were single-sided plates. I think the whole thing cost me like $20 or $30, but people were surprised at how well they worked, that I wanted to give them a shot. I have my sharp. We'll just do this. We'll start with a 400. We'll just go with this and see how it goes. Now, one thing is, I don't know. I probably have to reprofile the whole thing. So we're getting a sharpening show. We had a show and tell. We're getting a sharpening show now. Got a little bit of restoration. How am I doing on this edge? I'm not even hitting it. It's a lot higher bevel than I thought. Am I hitting it now? Nope. I am completely reprofiling this. So I'm putting a new edge on it. This is going to take a while. Because I'm not hitting the entire... I'll show you. Where's my marker? I had a marker. There we go. One trick to this, to see where you're hitting, is to color in the edge. And you can see I'm barely hitting it, but I'm trying to redo this edge entirely. Now I'll color the other side in too so I can see what I'm doing there. This one's a little hard to see though. This marker might be half dead. The sharpening job on this originally was not very good. It's very uneven, which is why I'm essentially redoing the whole thing. And then this will help me see once I get to that edge. This is why I wanted a higher grit, because this would dang it. This is going to take a while. And then once I'm getting to the edge. This is not a particularly strong steel or hard steel either, I believe. Yep, just about all the ink is gone. Ah, and now the ink is on my thumb. Okay, so I am at the edge, and I think I've started creating a bevel. I gotta get to the tip of this thing. Yeah. I want to be able to be cutting through that paper with relative ease, not tearing through it. Almost there. Okay, I got a beveled edge on most of the blade aside from the tip. And then we can work on this other side. I can't feel the edge though. This side was done so weird. Yep. So uneven on this one. It's going a lot faster than I thought, at least. I have to brush this stone off. Still have quite a bit of ink on this. And I think the edges or the blade is still, it's the blade itself appears to be bent a little bit. Just judging by how the scratch marks are going, the blade itself is not perfectly straight. So it wasn't just bent at the pivot, but the blade itself had a slight bend to it. Let's do it this way. I gotta move my case. And I gotta brush this off. We'll see. I'm giving this stone a good wearing in. But you can see where I've got the blade wearing down heavily here, not so much in the middle, and then more heavily towards the tip. So yeah, that blade itself is off. Although it's getting better. It's not going to be the best sharpening I've ever done, but if I can make this at least serviceable, I'm not going to argue. Okay. Trying now to work on creating a bevel on this thing. Or not bevel, a burr. So I seem to have straightened it out a bit. It took a lot of work. Now I want to try to create a bevel that I can work off. Brush this off again. There we go. I just realized I can't see all my chat. I don't know if you guys were saying anything. Okay. I can feel a little bit of a burr. Yeah, not my best sharpening job. I'm kind of trying to do this quick. But it's better than what it was. I think we're getting there. Okay. Let's flip this over. No sound? I was being quiet. Can you not hear the grating? Sorry, I wasn't talking the whole entire time while I was sharpening this. I got focused for a moment there. We're gonna move to 1,000 grit. Yeah, I was just being funny. I'm curious. Can you guys hear it when I'm sharpening away? Or is it just, oh, wow. Okay, I thought you guys could hear this. Hold on. Oh yeah, I don't see it. I don't see the bar moving at all. I wasn't aware that you guys couldn't hear the grinding. I thought it was pretty loud. Because it sounds loud to my ears. I'm just working on the 1000 grit now. I'm going to do it this way. Okay. It's better than it was. Not the best job, admittedly, but let's see. I'm just going to try to finish it a little bit on my ceramic. Just smooth out any or break off any remaining burrs. You could, oh, you couldn't hear a thing. Yeah, I thought that was running loud. Something like this, where I was like really redoing that edge, I probably would have preferred to use like a belt. Would have gone much quicker, but I do not have one. Let's see how that edge is now. I'll make sure I'm not feeling any burrs. Pretty smooth. And normally when I'm doing this, I take my time. I admit I probably rushed a little bit because I am doing this on a stream. But this isn't, like I said, this isn't a very expensive blade. So I wasn't all too concerned about making like a perfect edge. I just want to make it better than a block of steel. Okay, where did I put that magazine that I was just looking at? There we are. Let's see how it is now. Oh, much better. Still a little on the loud side, but a massive improvement. Now there's still a little bit of tearing, but a lot. It's towards the tip, which I've never been all that great at sharpening. Tips throw me off. Okay, well that's me just being stupid now. But a lot better than it was before. God dang it. I'm not making it look better, that's for sure. Magazine paper tends to be pretty unforgiving. Like I just tore that. One more sheet. A little bit of stropping. But I think the edge is much more improved compared to when I first got it, except for that tip. And I can kind of feel it on the ceramic. There we go. It's not the hardest steel, because I will say, even though I was using 400 grit, that was shaving down surprisingly quick. So no, not the hardest steel. One more sheet. Let's see where we're at. Much better than when I first had it. Could I improve on it? Sure. I'm sure I could. Oop. Yeah, I'm just tearing up. But a hell of a lot better than it was. I'm sure if I took my time, I can get this shaving sharp. But like I said, I'm not. Good grief. Not too concerned. Doing a horrible job here. There we go. Yeah, it's still catching in a few areas. But I would say good, like 50 times better than what it was before. Oh, should have checked. I didn't wipe anything. Okay, no. I didn't see the paper sticking to it. I could probably clean my strop too. I did this just a short while ago, and so already at the point where it needs to be redone. I mean, that is pretty sharp now. I've just probably got some areas that could be done a little better, like the tip. Just the tip. One more. Okay, that was just me being stupid. Yeah, I could do a little bit more work. I'm not doing the best showcasing of knife sharpening skills, admittedly. There is a part here where I seem to always catch. Yeah. There it is. Better. And right there. Yep. Much better. So, hey, kind of, sort of, maybe a little bit, sort of restored. Better than it was before. Now I'm probably a little bit more worried about how that thing snaps shut. Because definitely don't want that snapping shut on a finger. Now, another thing I'm wondering is I didn't see any roll, so I don't know if it's going to hit the spring when I snap it. It's still a possibility that I'll do that. Hold on a second. I just noticed something. Okay. Okay. Now, I don't know if it's going to roll an edge when I snap it, but the only way to find out is just let it go. And snapped. Still a little tough to open with just my fingernail, but it's not hitting the spring. So that's a good sign. It's still butting up against the edge there, but it's a hell of a lot better than what it was. Yeah, it's still got a slight bend to it. But that is a lot better than it used to be by a mile. I'll probably work on it a little bit more, see if I can get the rest of that bend out. But compared to what it was before, not bad. Not bad at all. I mean, for something that admittedly I knew was coming in that wasn't going to be, that I knew was going to be a fixer, I'm happy with it. I'll probably do a much better job of sharpening it later on. But I just wanted to see if I can even get it to that point. If I want to bend it that way. Yep. Much better than what it was. Actually kind of impressed with it. So that's the last of my squirrel collection. Yay! Nice addition. Even though it was something I had to work hard on. And then I'll probably... Actually, let's do that now. I've oiled the pivot considerably already, but Screw it, we'll add a little bit more. Let that drink in. And we'll even do, because I know it's running on this pin that's running through it. I'll just dab a little oil where the pins are. And maybe that'll wick into all the areas it needs to wick into. And it'll continue to get a little better. And then spread that oil across the blade as well. There we go. Oh, pouring oil everywhere. So we got a nicely oiled blade, nicely oiled pivot, since we know that this is carbon steel. That should help protect it a little bit. I'll probably wax it later on. I just wish, like, it keeps, that bend is going to bug me until I can knock that bend out. I don't know if it's going to be possible just looking at the pivot area. I mean, I'll continue to play around with it, but I think that's going to be probably about as good as it's going to get for a while. Yeah, look at me doing stuff. How about that? I can do things. I do the things now and then. Nice. And then a nice little, I don't know what this is. I believe it's leather. I'm pretty sure it is. And I don't even know how this rode in there. Oh, I think it rode the other way. Yeah, there we go. Nice addition to my collection, my squirrel collection. Unless, like I said, unless somebody finds something different, I'm going to deem it pretty much complete. Where the hell did I put the case for this now? I keep misplacing stuff. I need to stop that. Where did you go? I was just staring at you. Always losing my stuff. Not there. It's not with this bottle oil. It probably fell on the ground and then dove under all this magazine paper. Is my bet. Gosh darn it. Is that my phone? Okay, I'll look for it later. Crap, damn it. I don't know what I did with it. I know it's around here somewhere. Ostank! All you know is something is bent. Sounds like a lot more has happened. You just came in or you've been listening for a little while? You can't believe you missed the whole stream. But you can always rewatch. Coffee. I was just showing the last of what oh, there it is. I found my leather case for the thingy. I was just showcasing one of the knives I got this week that needed quite a lot of work. Dream Crusher. Everybody's coming in now. It was this squirrel knife. The only information I have on this is it's a vintage USSR Soviet squirrel knife. And it was the last of the squirrel knives that I could find that I wanted to add to my collection. And when the stream started, I had to take the cut gloves out because you couldn't open it. I had to use pliers and some cloth to literally pry it open. I knew coming in when I got this knife, I knew it was going to be a fixer. I actually got it really cheap in compared to, I mean, it's not a very expensive knife to begin with, but because it's old and vintage or whatever, they were still looking at like 30 to 40 bucks for them. I got it for like 20 and without ridiculous shipping because the shipping itself was like 20 bucks a lot of places. But I couldn't even get it open without a set of pliers. But now I got to the point of not only can I open it using the nail nick and with some prayer because it's still kind of still kind of scary. It's a slip joint with a really strong spring, and now it's bent still, like it's bent that way. Like you can still see a little bit, but it was a lot worse. It was a lot worse, and a lot of grunting and bending the other direction. Now I got fingerprints on it again. A lot of grunting and doing a lot of, pressing it against the table to get rid of the bend. I got rid of most of the bend. So, I mean, you can still see a bend on it. You can probably guess how ridiculous the bend was. Like, literally, it was like, okay, now the bend is just a little bit, but before it was like much more. And so now I can open it and close it just using my hands. And then it had a crazy dull edge, and I just did a quick sharpening. I'm at the point where I can cut through magazine paper without making it look like it came out of, a 2-year-old's tearing session. And pretty happy with it now. Like I was saying before, I'll probably spend more time on it later to really fine tune the edge. But it's now pretty sharp, doesn't hit the spring, still got some bend to it. But again, this is not something I'm planning on reselling. This is a squirrel knife. This is going into my collection with the rest of the squirrels that I have. And I was just saying, if anybody knows of another squirrel knife, let me know. Because as far as I know, I've got every squirrel knife that I could find, aside from the squirrel hunters, which I'm not looking to get. The squirrel hunters aren't on my radar, just squirrels. I got this one. I got, where did I put the other one? I had that in another sheath. Did that just fall over too? Really? Where? Good grief, where did that one go? Or did I put it back here? I keep misplacing knives. Really? I was just staring at you too, which is the weird part. It probably fell on this pile of stuff. There it is. It did fall. There was this one that I got this week that I unboxed earlier. Then there's this one. This is the French-made EDCSquirrel. And I don't know if I'm saying it right, so don't kill me on that one. EDCSquirrel. But this is the Duke Squirrel. It's spelled D-O-U-K twice. D-O-U-K Squirrel. This one actually has a squirrel depicted on it. This one has a squirrel depicted on it also, as you can see there. This one has a etched squirrel on the side. And surprisingly, I thought this was different. I thought it was a friction folder, but this is also a kind of like a traditional, has a spring in there. Made in France. And this is a little lock, I found out. I thought it was like just a lanyard thing. But that's just sort of like a safety to keep the blade from inadvertently opening. But it's got a pretty strong spring. Half stop. And open. I don't know the steel on this one. I believe it was carbon steel. Also, can't remember. I'm gonna wax the heck out of this anyway. But the spring is enclosed, unlike a lot of other traditionals where you can see the spring in the back. The spring is enclosed in there, and I was kind of surprised to find out it had one. But pretty knife, again, simple, French-made. Didn't have a case or sheath. I'm using one of these leather sheaths that I've got. Actually, I don't know how. I don't want that to ride in there. You can kind of go either way. Oh, well, now you're stuck. Okay, there we go. I don't know how I want this to sit in there. Probably this way. Point up. Easier to hook onto. And this came with its own leather sheath, I think. Maybe. Just had a slip that I used for that. But those, I think, are the completion of my my squirrel collection. Hey, Atagan. How you doing? Hope I'm pronouncing your name right. ADHD got me going through them all again. Yes. You know what? I'll do that again since you guys are here, and I'll probably be ending relatively soon. So why don't we do a recap? Quick recap. I got a new lady leg. Purple sparkle. I'm going to show you real quick. This is... Oh, god dang it. Tied that really well. This is just one of my knife rolls where I've been keeping most of my lady legs that don't have boxes. This is a Barlow. Forgot what they called these. Bombshell beauties. But this is the one that I was showing that I got earlier this week. It's an interesting lady leg because it has two blades to it. You got a California clip, and you've got a pen knife or pen blade, and it's purple sparkly. It's shiny. But I got that one earlier. If you're wondering about the other knives, I got my other leg knives in here. A Balisong that was pretty cheap, I'm sure. And then my probably the most expensive knife I have in my collection currently. My Tecto Humvee. I couldn't remember the name of it. Tecto Humvee is in here because this thing is ungodly large and doesn't really fit anywhere else. So, excuse me, I just stuck it in there. But the purple one is the one that is the latest addition to the leg knife collection. Let's see here. Tegan's got a live as well. That's interesting. I'd like to see that. And the other knives that I got in, other than squirrel knives, I got a new one from Titan, which is this here. This is a trapper done in O2 steel, I believe, with a pancake sheath, which I thought was pretty neat, from Titan International Knives. Really good polishing job on this trapper too. Beautiful little pattern on the scales. It's just clear acrylic patterns flat. It's probably some, I don't know how they put the graphic in there, but it's then covered in some type of acrylic. But really shiny, highly polished O2. That's another one. These are going to be Christmas presents. If Morgan will stop looking at it, because she probably has a feeling that she knows who's getting these. Kentucky cutlery. Not expensive, but pretty neat. Slip joint knives. I'm not going to take them back out. They're slip joints, not locking. I did get another Rough Rider Bone Stag Trapper. If you haven't guessed yet, I really like trappers. And this one, this Cinnamon Bone Stag is done with Rough Rider's Damascus steel. Still, I got to figure out more detail on the Damascus. It's a little hard to see, but done in their Damascus. So it's one of the pricier Rough Riders. If you can call Rough Riders pricey. They're not very expensive. But whenever you see Damascus on a blade, it tends to run the price up a little bit. Provided it's a true Damascus and not just something that they scratched down with a whatever. One of the bigger knives that I've got. Oh, this one's another. I got a new case knife. This one is a 2025 SHOT Show. We're just doing a recap. 2025 SHOT Show case trapper. And this is the Making a Case for America one. So 2025 SHOT Show. I don't know how many of these are out there. I'm not saying that this is like a highly limited, but from what I understand, they're limited. I just don't, I mean, it could be like one of like 2,000, one of 3,000. I have no idea. But again, trapper, you got your typical California clip point and spade blade back here. Done with a nice polish. I've really been liking a lot of these case knives. I'll just wrap that back up like a burrito. And let's get this all the way in there. And then two more knives. The two last knives I have. God dang it. I just tore all that up. Get in there. Just be kind. Be kind to me. God dang it. I want to be mean. I see how you are. Just get in there. I want to get a display case for all these case knives. Until then, they sit in their boxes, which is kind of disappointing. This one was the priciest thing I picked up. Is this the right one? This one was opened earlier this week because I wanted to do a video, and that's why I didn't have that much to unbox this week. This one is from Best Tech. This is another one of their discontinued knives. And this is called the wrong knife. Hold on. Got the wrong one. This one. You almost saw which one. Oh, you're doing a giveaway with a Spyderco slip joint? Ooh, I might have to check that out. This one is called the Best Tech Dolphin. This was done in the retro gold. Number 14 out of 50. Frame lock. S35 VN steel blade. Titanium scales on this one, done in retro gold. They say retro blue. I say retro green or seafoam green. I don't know. They label it as blue. But there we go. Really nice knife. I love these Best Techs. These Best Techs have been freaking amazing. I can't get I need to get enough of them because I can't get enough. These things are spendy. This one's like probably. Oh no, this ran about the same as the last Best Tech. I think around 192. I did get a better deal than 192, but I know 192. It's either 192 or 199 if you can find them online. I know this color was discontinued. They have another color. But that one appears to possibly be discontinued as well. The only place I've seen the other color was on Knife Center, and they're saying out of stock, but typically ships in 2 to 3 days. So I don't know if they can still get them, or they're the only place where it didn't say discontinued. So if you're looking for a Best Tech Dolphin, Knife Center might be your best bet. But really awesome blade. I'm really liking these Best Techs. Awesome stuff. And then the surprise one, and while this is probably my favorite thing this week that I've gotten, was this Best Tech Dolphin, admittedly. But a close second, if not tie, to this one was one I got from Kaiser. And Austin's probably going to be like, you didn't get the mini bulldog. No, I didn't get the mini bulldog because I got this instead. This one was from Kaiser. This is the Seagull. And I thought this was neat because of a couple of things. There's a blue Richlight scales. And you've got 3 methods of deployment on this one. You got thumb holes. You have a front flipper and a really interesting rear flipper on this one. It doesn't jut out like every other rear flipper that I see. So it keeps the lines nice and smooth. Really snappy action on this one. Kaiser's been just kicking them out of the ballpark, or hitting them out of the ballpark, doing something with ballparks where they're out, something like that. Anyway, real fast and smooth action on this one. That rear flipper is really cool, and I made my ears ring again. This is the second knife that will make my ears ring because of that snap. Nestled liner lock or captive liner lock, however you want to put it, on this one. The rear flipper works fantastic. All the rear flipper and the front flipper, both fantastic. Again, nice smooth action, nice and loud, and god dang it. Drop the box. And the thumb hole works pretty sweet. And I like the blade on this one, almost like a leaf style blade with a really nice finger choil. Good amount of jimping on it. I can even got some jimping towards the front for real fine-tuned control, real precise cutting. Freaking awesome knife. This one, yeah, no, they're all fantastic knives. It's hard to choose. I got this one admittedly because I loved, when I first saw it, I liked the way they positioned it. I was really curious as how this was going to work with this, how it was going to feel with this rear flipper. And then I saw the blade, and I thought the blade was really interesting, as well as the finger choil and the jimping. And also, it didn't cost $200 some odd. So that made it when I was trying to decide which Kaiser I wanted to get, because they came out with so many nice ones. I just went ahead and went for this. I still would like to get the Staffy or the Bully at some point, but this was a little easier to swallow it up. I think it was like $60 or $70 for this one. And it was under 3 inches for blade length, which is another nice thing. And I also didn't have one in a blue rich light. I think the blue rich light looks really cool on this. I don't have another knife that's done in rich light. But pretty sweet. Probably aside from the Dolphin, I think these two are probably my favorites that I've gotten this week. I mean, all the knives that I have are generally my favorites. I'm not going to lie. If it's not a favorite, I'm not going to keep it. So it's kind of hard to keep saying, like, this is my favorite, or that's my favorite. I've got so many knives that are my favorites. And this one's just so fidgety. It's snappy, it's fidgety, because you got so many ways to deploy it. And they all work so well. Like, I've had front flippers that make me a little nervous, like, am I going to snap it weird or something? This one is just, I don't have to think about it. I just do it. The rear flipper is interesting because it doesn't jut out. It keeps the lines of it nice and smooth when it's closed, so you don't have some rear spike sticking out. And it's just got a great action to it. Nice thick belly on that blade. My girlfriend's probably gonna hate this one, because this is gonna be the one where I'll be at my computer and just doing this the whole darn time, just snapping this thing. And this thing's loud. I don't know if it comes across, but no, you know what? I was just looking at that because I was looking at the Staffies and the Bullies. Osho is probably one of my favorite designers when it comes to Kaiser, which is why I'm looking at the Staffy and Bully. He's designed both of those. Same with the Bulldog and the Mini Bulldog. But I didn't see a designer name on this one. I pored over the Kaiser website on this and couldn't find one. If somebody could tell me, you're pretty sure this is a Mattis Factions design? I'm not familiar with Mattis Factions. I didn't see. Let me look at the Kaiser website again, because they don't make any mention of it. Or either that or I missed it entirely. Yeah, $70 for my Carta version, $70 or $69.95, whatever. $70 for the Rich Light version, which is what I have. And then they have a aluminum scaled version for $80. Seagull Family, the Carta, Rich Light G10 aluminum. Oh, they have a G10 version, which how come they don't list the G10 version? That's weird. Oh, it's just all black. Okay. 14C 28N steel. I'm just scrolling through. Oh, he's another YouTuber. Your mini bulldog is a loose pivot screw. Well, kind of surprised. If it's are you talking about the pivot itself? Because those are meant to be adjusted. You can just easily tighten that, I think. I'm just quickly going through this again just to make sure I didn't miss anything. They usually list who designed it in the specifications. Designer just says Kaiser. Oh, hollow grind. Did I even notice it was a hollow grind? Oh, yeah, hollow ground. Okay, cool. Didn't even realize that. Hollow grind blade. They say drop point. It looks like almost like a spear point leaf blade. Drop point blade, 2.9 inches. And I don't know. Oh, it's because I'm looking at the scale. The aluminum version says color brown. But this is going to quickly become a favorite. I'm going to want another one of these. I like it. This is just so nice. You play with it a lot. You know what? I haven't had to adjust any of my pivots. I think there was one knife I had to adjust a pivot on. And I did a video on that because it was like, I think I called it like a balancing act, because you had the pivot too tight and the blade didn't want to, hold on a second, because even just a little bit, it just snaps out. You had it too tight and it was really, the blade became really stiff and didn't want to flick out. But if you tried to alleviate that and loosen it just a little, you ended up getting like a lot of blade movement. Like you could feel it moving back and forth. This one's solid as a rock. No movement at all. And it was an SRM, but it was a really inexpensive SRM. I think it was like a $20 SRM. That's the only one that I really wasn't impressed with because of the way they had, or because of the way that pivot was. Either really stiff or felt really loose. Oddly enough, though, still one of the sharpest blades I've ever seen on a knife out of the box. Like, I still don't know how SRM does it or who's doing it for SRM, but I took another look at a lot of my SRM knives, and they have such a highly polished edge to them, and they all cut through like laser beams. And they're not terribly expensive knives, yet they can do a really good edge polish on them. It's pretty insane. But yeah, those are all the knives, all the new knives for this week. And then I did a bit of sharpening. I was working on that squirrel knife, so that way it could actually be, not that I'm going to use it, but it would be usable, because I don't like having knives that aren't usable at all. I mean, if the knife could be beautiful, but if it can't cut or do what a knife does, I don't want it. And even this one, being a squirrel knife, I wanted it to be able to be used, which is where we got it now. I've got to the point of where I can actually use it as a knife. Not that I probably ever will. It's more here because it's part of my squirrel collection now. But I wanted to at least get it to that point. And I kind of hope and prayed I was able to fix it. And I think I did a decent job on that one. But other than that, that was pretty much everything that I unboxed. And then I spent a bunch of time just trying to fix that knife. Oh, Cole, how is it over there? Do you guys get anything new? So, obviously, I'm sharing my collection with you guys. I hope you enjoy watching that. But I do have, I did start a Discord. Actually, Morgan started the Discord for me. There is a Discord. I don't know if the link is in the description. I can't remember if it's still there or not. But Morgan, if you want to go ahead and throw that link up. So if you want to share any new stuff that you get, just share knives in general. I know Wayland's shared quite a few. If Morgan puts the link up on there, because I can't remember where it's at. Thank you, Morgan. You can join the Discord, post your stuff in there, or just chat about knives in general. Also, I started an Instagram. I've been posting up photos in there. I completely forgot to mention that. I've just been posting photos in there for a lot of the people that aren't on the Discord, and I've had people ask, so I figured Instagram, a lot of people have Instagram. Why not just do that? So I've been putting pictures up on there. Also, tomorrow, I'm planning on doing another auction. I'm contemplating throwing in a lot of my Rough Rider collection, not the entire Rough Rider collection. I still have favorites in there. But I'm debating shaving my Rough Rider collection down even further, mainly to make room, and mainly so I could afford some of the other knives that I want to pick up in the future. It wasn't my initial plan. My initial plan was to hold a show tomorrow and then try to sell off the electric guitar pedals that I've been trying to sell. I only sold a few of those. I've still got plenty of electric guitar pedals that I want to get rid of because I'm no longer collecting those. I still have a giant amount of guitar pedals, but I have those on boards and would like to keep those where they are. It's just the other extra ones that I've been collecting that I'm not using and are just sitting collecting dust in their boxes that I'm trying to get rid of. I was going to concentrate on those, and then I just thought I'd like to make more room for more knives, like, for example, more Bestecs, more the Kaisers, stuff like that. And I think the best way for me to do that would be to shave down my Rough Rider collection even further. So while tomorrow I'm still going to be focusing on the guitar pedals, I will probably be throwing a lot of my Rough Riders in there. I hold my auctions on Whatnot, and if I hold a show tomorrow, it'll be at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. So if you want to check out what I have out in auction, tune in then. Again, I'm still debating the knife thing. I do have knives up for sale there, and will be in the auction. I'm on the fence of whether I want to add more. Again, most of my focus is going to be on the guitar pedals. Oh, and other random stuff that I'm also trying to get rid of, like brand new women's cleats. I have a bunch of Labubu stuff that I kind of want to go buy. My girlfriend has a bunch of Labubus, but she's also acquired a bunch of like Labubu adjacent things that are kind of just taking up space. They're unopened boxes and things like that. Yeah, Whatnot is dangerous for you. I can even show you what they are. I've got, hold on, where are they? There they are. And she gave them to me. She's like, I don't want them. She likes the Labubus, but she just likes the Labubu charms, or the dolls, essentially, because she likes dressing them up. So any of the other Labubu stuff, she's like, you can have them, do what you want with them, and I'm just going to go ahead and turn them around. But there's like these phone charms that are going to be, I'm going to be selling as well, that I'm not going to want. These are unopened blind boxes. I got like 2 of these. I've got 2 of these, which are, they're stress balls. Different stress balls. She has one that she is keeping, but I have 2 of these in a box that are completely unopened, and this is what they look like. This one just happens to be a rice ball with a Labubu head or Labubu face attached to it, and I have to admit, they are super satisfyingly squishy. like super squishy. Like, oh my God, these things are soft. And then they'll just go back to normal eventually. But they are super squishy. But yeah, I have 2 unopened boxes. She's keeping this one. She liked it. She thought it was cute. But the other 2, she said do away with. So I'm going to do away with them. And then this thing, which is oddly, surprisingly expensive as all get out. I don't even know entirely what this is. But it's a Labubu sandwich mini bag. It's got a zipper on top, a little clip. And I guess you'd put lunch in it, I think, or whatever else you want to carry in there. I didn't want to open it up, so I've left it as is. We don't have another one, but she doesn't want it because she has enough stuff attached to her packs and everything. She said, go ahead, and if I wanted to sell it, I can sell it. Surprisingly enough, these things have been going on Whatnot for like 50, 60 bucks, which surprised the heck out of me. The charms I've seen go for like 20, like the phone charms I've seen go for 20. The squish balls I've seen go for like 25 to 30. But that's just a bunch of the random stuff that I'll probably be putting up on auction. Not something that I'm really entirely planning on concentrating on. Like I said, if I'm going to be concentrating on anything, it's going to be the guitar pedals and whatever knives I have left that I'm going to sell. So tomorrow's going to be a good chance if you want to get some Rough Rider knives. I'm pretty sure the majority are going to be Rough Rider. If not all of them are going to be Rough Rider. I have no real intention of selling anything else, to be quite honest. I don't collect because I want to make money. If anything, I'm going to be losing a little bit. I just hope to break somewhat even. That's my plan. To break at least even and make more room for different knives. That's the entirety of the plan, really. I don't get any special discounts. I don't have any wholesale thing going on. It's just me collecting knives, and that's pretty much it. I'm freaking liking this knife. What time tomorrow? It's probably going to be about 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. I don't have it up yet. It's going to be kind of like a pop-up. I know a lot of people like to schedule them ahead, but my thing is I'm also a caregiver. So there have been times where I know I schedule this show all the time. But when it comes to something like an auction and stuff like that, I don't want to set up a time. And being a caregiver, if I have to immediately step away. Okay. Is this working? I think my mic died. Thankfully, I had a second mic. What was the last thing you heard? I was just saying I have to agonize later tonight over what Rough Riders I want to get rid of. So yeah, I think my mic died. It's one of these little guys. I think this one died. I got to recharge it. Thankfully, it came in this. Ow! It came in a set of 2. When you guys said I lost sound, I immediately just looked at my mic and noticed that the light was off. But yeah, I got to agonize over what ones I wanna sell, and I'll probably be doing that most of tonight. Going through my Rough Riders. Most of them, I try to take as best care of my knives as I can. So I like a lot of the Rough Riders that I'll be selling. They're literally going to be new in the box, because if anything, at best, I do a little cleaning and then I put them back in the box, because I don't have a display case yet. Otherwise, I'd be displaying a lot of them. But since I don't have a display case, a lot of times they'll get cleaned, oiled or waxed, placed back in the box, and they're currently in my closet in storage, I guess you could say. And that's how I've kept most of my Rough Rider collection. My time to stop? What? I don't know. Sure. Well, yeah, that's a possibility. I might have to stop. That's always a possibility when I'm streaming or doing something. Good God, I was doing my video game stream. You know how many times I've had to stop because of this stupid fire alarm? That thing's going to drive me nuts. This fire alarm is in this apartment building is crazy. But anyway, now I'm just babbling. But that's pretty much it for today. Just wanted to share all the new stuff that I got this week. Next week, I do plan on doing another show, because I do have some interesting things coming in that just didn't make it this week, unfortunately. But to give you an idea, as far as I know, I don't have another best tech coming in. But and I'm hoping they make it in time. Some Concept, because Concept is one of my favorite knife makers. Same with also some Ramette might be coming in as well. I'm trying to think of what else. I can't even remember half my purchases. Might have a couple new case coming in for my collection, and I can't remember what else, but possibly I might also possibly be getting in what could be the most expensive knife I've ever bought. So I'll leave that for next week and show you guys once I get it in. But yeah, I think that's going to be about it. I need to get something to eat. I need to cook as well and clean up. And where did that little bug come from? Get out of here, you little shit. Seriously? Did you just land in my coffee? Of all the places you could have landed on, you landed in my coffee. I do not like you. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. Oh, Eagle Scout, you missed most of it. I was just about to head off. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Hope you guys had fun watching. Oh, actually, before I forget, what was your favorite? I know some of you didn't catch all of it. I think Morgan ran off before I could ask her. My favorite, it's got to be these two. Even though I got my squirrel knives. Oh, God dang it. No, you know what? No, this is also my favorite. This one I had to work on, but it's still kind of cool. There's that one. That's still kind of neat. But then I really did like that case knife. That was, then there was, yeah, damn it. Probably these two. Those are probably my favorites in the group currently. It's going to change. All these are my favorites. It's hard to pick. It's like trying to pick a favorite child. I know they have favorite children. Anyway, that's going to be it for today. I'll be back later tonight, but not on this channel. I'll be back to do some video gaming on my Game Cave channel. I think I do have a link to that below. So if you like to see me get really dumb in video games, I do that stream at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. I don't know what I'm going to do tonight. I've been playing Death Stranding 2 and having a blast with that, but on the weekends I like to do something different. I might be doing some crime scene cleaner, because I haven't done that in a little while, and that's a fun game. I don't know. We'll see. And there's also Date Everything, which is hilariously weird. But I don't know. I'll be playing something tonight at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. So if you want to check out the video game channel, I'll be back there. And then tomorrow, like I said, I'll probably be holding an auction at 2 p.m. on Whatnot. So if you're interested in seeing what I have for sale, again, I'll be concentrating on guitar pedals, but I'll be throwing out a lot, or not throwing out, but I'll be throwing up a lot of knives to either auction or just straight buy it nows, and other random stuff. So yeah, I think that's pretty much my plan. So thanks again for watching. If you liked what you saw, please drop a like down below. And if you haven't yet, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell, and that way you'll be notified as soon as I drop down a new video, which is probably going to be one of these, because this knife is freaking amazing. Dang it, Kaiser. Stop putting out good stuff. I don't have the money. This is also, I gotta stop. Okay, so thanks again, everybody, for joining me. Hope to see you guys in the next video. You guys have a good one. Go check out the Discord and all that fun stuff. Bye! Get out of here, bug. Dude, you were already in my coffee. Stop it. How did you get out of my coffee? I thought you died in there. God, it's a super bug. Ew. Go away. Okay, bye. I'm just going to end this. I don't have an ending for this yet. I haven't had time to make an ending. Don't judge me.